Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thanks God that today we can meet again in the subject of English for tourism. And today we are going to listen the student presentation. Only one student as presenter today, namely Aulia Rahmani Sabri. And starting our lecture today, let's reciting together Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, Aulia Sabri, your time 5 to 10 minutes for presentation your PowerPoint. Please, time is yours. Okay, it is clear.
Thank you, sir and ma'am. Hello, everyone. Greetings. Good afternoon. I am Aulia Rahmani Sabri, and today I will be speaking about cultural tourism in Cirende Village. So, what is Cirende Village? Cirende Village is a traditional village located in Leuwi Gajah, South Cimahi. The village is known for having cassava as their staple food. The name Cirende itself actually refers to the plant. In Latin, it's called Staurogin elongata, or in Indonesia, it is Cirende leaves. They were named. The village is named after after the Rende leaf because the village is used to be surrounded by the plant, the Staurogin elongata. So, since it is a traditional village, they must be having a value that they preserve. One of them is the people of the Cirende village collectively preserve a cultural value. They were like saying in Sundanese. In English, it is they must have farm rice in spite of not having rice field, have rice in spite of not having farm rice, cook rice in spite of not having rice, eat in spite of not having rice, and stay fit in spite of not eating. So, what does that mean? The saying means that the people of Cirende village doesn't have to dependent on rice production, since they are surrounded by cassava more than rice field, so they utilize more of cassava. They start to preserve this value since 20th century. Back then, they experienced drought, a very long drought, so they since then they began to preserve this value, that they cultivate cassava and utilize them more than rice field, so that they don't be too dependent on the consumption of rice. So what these visitors can do in this Cirende village, the first of all, visitors can see the cultivation of cassava. The cassava field is so wide that the visitors can see the view, and they can experience firsthand of cultivating the cassava itself. The visitors also can watch and participate in traditional music performance, because the people of Cirende village also preserve the traditional music such as angklung and kendang, and then visitors can watch the process of cassava food production and trying them out. The products are such as rice, such as rice, egg roll, and dried cassava skin, cake, etc. And then recently, the people of Chirende village have just built a campsite since Chirende village is located around the hills. They were like Canggu Hill, Kunci Hill, and Cimenteng Hill. So Chirende village got a beautiful surrounding around them. They were beautiful panorama. So for this campsite is beautiful and can attract them to set camp on the campsite. So for Chirende village, it is not just cultural. So when the visitors pay visit to this village, they can also reside, but in campsite. So this visit to Chirende village is very interesting because not only the visitors can get the cultural side, but also the panorama sites. They can enjoy the panorama side. I think that's all I can talk about. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Aulia and Sabi, for your presentation. I think it is very interesting, and I would like to inform to other students who have listened about the Aulia Sabri presentation. Please, starting from now, you make the brief comment and then send it to the WhatsApp group until finish to listen me and Budiani to make the comment also to the Aulia Sabri presentation. Okay, Budiani, I give opportunity firstly for commenting related to the Aulia Sabri presentation, please.
Well, thank you, Bapak Suwirta, for the first presenter, Aulia Rahmani Sabri. This is about the cultural tourism in Chirende village. I think your consideration about this site place is because this place is near to your place. So I just want to know that is it because the local wisdom that make you interest about this kind of place of tourism, because this place is offer more than just a place. This place also offering about the local wisdom of the people itself. So I think this place is having that kind. The idea is to have or to take the people to think about the resilience or ketahanan pangan in bahasa. So I just want to know about what do you think about this place? What kind of local wisdom that this place offer to us, not just for the academicians, but also for the ordinary people. So what do you think about the local wisdom that this place has to offer to us?
My opinion is the same as Mr. Snurdiani. What got me interested in this visit to Chirende village is that the local wisdom itself that promotes food resilience. The village itself is rewarded by the Cimahi government about related to their food resilience, because not all the time we get a production of rice. So the people of Chirende village really utilize what's surround them, because they were more surrounded by cassava than rice fields. So they really maximize it so that they don't have to be too dependent on rice. I think that's my what I'm thinking about.
Thank you very much. Okay, good opinion, because in some point tourism offering us or also want to highlight about the thematic tourism. So this is about the educative thematic tourism, which is highlight about the how we can preserve the cassava instead of the rice itself. So I think the idea of not being independent to two independence to rise. It's also very interesting for me that you could also raise about this idea, and also you could also raise about the issue. So you could tackle about the issue of the scarcity. The in bahasa is kelangkaan pangan. So this is the alternative, not to be independent to rise, but instead you could also cultivate about the cassava itself. So I mean, this is interesting. So in terms of substance, you already having that capability, and you do have all that potential to deliver and explore more about the story about this place. And the second one is about the performance. I think you should more what I should say that you please practice more about the pronunciations, because the substance you already that capacity to expand more. But I think from my point of view, you should also have that capability to perform more about the substance. So rehearse more and practice more. And thank you very much, Olia, for your presentation. Thank you very much, Bapak.
Okay, you're welcome, Budiani. Any replying or comment, Aulia, related to Budiani suggestion or comment? It is enough for you?
I think it's enough, sir. Enough.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to make the brief comment also related to your presentation. I think it is a good presentation, a good theme also topics. But please ensure, as I have mentioned earlier, that your tourist destination or your cultural tourism in Cirinde village, how to make change this, to make changing this tourism site from local level to national or international level. So I think it is very important, because you as candidate of guide for international tourists, not for local tourists. Because of that, you use English as media of communication, not Sundanese language, not the Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, because of that, how to make the cultural tourism in Cirinde village from local tourists or national tourists toward the international tourists. What the indicators that this tourism destination to be international destination? One of the important indicators, there should be visitor from abroad. So the visitor, the tourist, not only comes from local area, West Java people or other province Indonesia, but also from abroad. Foreign tourists. Let's be comparing to the Bali. In Bali, do you know, there is the subak system, irrigation system. It is the cultural tourism, particularly in the what is in the agriculture. But for foreign visitor, it is very interesting. How about the subak system, irrigation system, and so on and so forth. Maybe the Cirende tourism or cultural tourism in Cirende village, as Budiani said about the food resolution, it is maybe interesting to develop how the food resolution, ketahanan pangan, in the case of Cirende village, can develop not only in nationally, but also in internationally level. So I think, oleh Sabri, please you ensure how to make the Cirende village from local tourism destination became the national or international tourism destination. Okay, so I think it is very important, because our subject is English for tourism, not Sundanese language for tourism or the Bahasa Indonesia for tourism. Okay, because of that, the visitor, the tourist should be comes from foreign countries, not only from local or national countries. Okay. Okay, so because of that, it is important also to facilitate about how children the village also can make comfortable or suitable for the foreign tourists. Okay. How about the infrastructure? Okay, and infrastructure here is maybe highway, maybe what is good road to access to the Chirindi village. Because if I see about the Cimahi region, it is the traffic jam area, okay, the crowded the crowded area. So how makes the Chirindi village in Cimahi area become comfortable, suitable for the foreign visitor? Not traffic jam, no crowded condition, and so on and so forth. It is facility, including also, of course, there's the hotels, there's the arts facility, uh, and not only facility. What is important also for the cultural tourism in Chirindi village? Maybe what, as Budiani said, what kind of uniqueness about this destination. Okay, uh, as I have mentioned earlier about the Bali subak system, irrigation system. Okay, maybe in Cirinde period there's the food resilient. Okay, ketahanan pangan. But what other kind of uniqueness about this village? How about the social structure? Because in the picture when you saw about the camping, I think it is the not uniqueness, that is the modern style. just just in the open field, not in the forest, not in the agriculture area, and so on and so forth. So I think it is not uniqueness for foreign visitor. If you go, if you going to Kampung Air in Brunei Darussalam, or Bugis Street, or what is Merlion Park in Singapore, okay, or Petaling Street in Malaysia, or Genting Highland, or Cameron Highland in Malaysia. There's the what we call as the naturally about the tourism. What is naturally is keadaan alamiah, okay, not not social engineering by the local government. Okay, Cirinde village is cultural, traditional, or local wisdom village, but yes, the surrounding area is the modern area. Okay, not not natural environment like like in Baduy, for example. Okay, Baduy Dalam, for example, and in hinterland in the Kalimantan island, the Dayak tribe, and so on and so forth. Because of that, in Baduy Dalam, in Dayak hinterland in Kalimantan, there's many visitors from abroad to see what uniqueness in culture, in civilization, in social structures, and local wisdom, and so forth, related to the cultural tourism, or related to the traditional community as the tourism destination. So Aulia Sabri, please answer. It is your big PR. Okay, what is PR? Homework. Your big, how to make the children the village from local tourism to be national or international tourism. I think it is very important. Okay, so it should be in modern term, should be what is developed about the facilities, and should be identify also what kind of uniqueness about the Cirinde. For example, you said about the food resilient, okay, ketahanan pangan. I think for the village, Cirinde village, in which the scope is limited area, I think maybe it is not problem. But how the model of Cirinde village in preserving or maintaining the food resilience for example, West Java province. Okay, so I think how this little model to be the big role model for West Java province, for Indonesian nation state, and others. So the model for the food resilience, not only for the Cirende village, but also should be model for other area in the broad area, in the broad sites. Okay, in level of district maybe, kabupaten, kota. Okay, in the level of province, in level of national, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, what is it is my my comment not only one again for Aulia Ersai, but also to other students. How your tourism destination, your topic, your tourism destination, not only become uniqueness in the local tourism, but also should be developed to be the national and international tourism. Because as we know that comparing with other countries, particularly in Southeast Asian countries, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, including also Brunei Darussalam, I think the foreign tourists who came to Indonesia is still what is no more than other countries, exceptly in Bali. Okay, Bali Island is almost a tourist destination, so it is about what is become the big homework to other stakeholders, including also the Ministry of Tourism, how to make the local tourism destination in many area in Indonesia, from Sabang to Merauke, to be like in Bali Island. Okay, in which there's the many foreign tourists comes to Bali. Maybe there are many foreign tourists comes to Cirende village, come to UPI. UPI maybe not tourists, but for example, student. Okay, foreign student who study in UPI and others university in Indonesia. I think it is also one of the tourists in educational field. Okay, so I think it is very important to others how your topic, your tourism destination should be developed from the local level to the national level and particularly to be the international level in order there's many visitors, many tourists comes to our tourism destination comes from abroad, comes from overseas tourists. Okay, I think there's also my not brief but long comment. Any response or any also reply from Aulia Ersati related to my comment?
I agree on Ms. Nurdiani and Mr. Suirta have just said. I think here in the village is not yet to be developed on like national level. They are more like Bandung Raya or West Java. So I think this past year, here in the village has just been developed. There were like cooperation between Cimahi government, Ristek Brin, if I'm not mistaken, and Catholic Parahyangan University. They have just helped the community in Cirende village to develop the village. So I think it's a good start for the Cirende village. But I also think it should be developed more so to be promoted like on national level. So I think it's a good idea from Mr. Suirta. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much for your replying. Okay, so I think it is also should be what is available in your opinion article. Okay, so not only analysis about the uniqueness and interesting about your topic, your tourism side, but also the what is the actuality, okay, including also as you have mentioned, there's the collaboration between many stakeholders to develop this uh, cultural tourism here in the village to be developed in order to be the tourism destination in national or international level. Okay, should be developed, should be changed in order it become interesting to foreign tourists. Okay, not only for local and national tourists. And I think Aulia Sabri have the talent or to be the guide. Your English is good, okay. Although Budiani said your pronunciation maybe should be what is exercise. I think not only Aula Ersabi, me, Budiani, and other students. Okay, so language it should be using and habitually using everyday life in order we not forget about this language, because if didn't use the language, including also the mother tongue or mother language, the national language, we will forget. Okay, so language should be used everyday life, every time, everywhere. Okay, and I think this subject has the objective, the goal, in order our students not only have competence in listening, but also speaking, explaining, and finally, of course, writing something related to your topic. Okay, you can in a tourism destination based on your choice of. Okay, thank you very much. I think it is enough, and let's finishing our lecture today. Closing our lecture today by reciting together also Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Thank you very much, and remember please for the next week, student who will present the PPT should be send the PowerPointers on time. Okay, one day before the, you presentation the PowerPointers, and should be on time, no more than 3 o'clock p.m. Uh, EM, okay? PM in the morning, EM in the morning, PM in the afternoon. So 3 o'clock PM, I think it's very important. Inshallah, we will meet again in the next week. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir and ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Welcome.
Permission to leave, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Budiani. We can leave from this meeting. We will switch